For materials that I prefer to use, obviously starting with Sol Soil's potting mix, depending on the plant that you're putting it in, a new pot, so you can either use the same size pot, or if it is root bound, which is typically the base of that planter will have roots kind of spiraling around in it, you're going to want to go up a size, so usually an inch or 2 inches in diameter of the pot if it does look root bound. I like to have a metal chopstick to free up potting mix for any sort of repot that I do. Repotting mats are really useful. You can always do it over a trash can or do it outside, but otherwise you're going to make a huge mess. A soil scoop, which we now have available on our website, small clipping of screen, or use just an actual drainage hole screen from Amazon or something like that, and then a decorative topper if you'd like. And our mixes are ready to go as is, and they do not need to be blended with any other traditional soil, even though they look quite unique by themselves. So plan to just replace as much of the current growing medium with your Sol Soil's potting mix as you can.
Okay, if your plant is in a flexible nursery pot, squeeze the pot in various spots, kind of turn it around until you can cleanly pull the plant out of the base. If you're in a ceramic pot, though, use a chopstick or something similar to work down around the edges of the pot until you're able to free the root ball from the container.
Now use your hands to work around the outside of the root ball to gently loosen some of the outer roots. And a metal chopstick is my favorite tool for this task. And free up as much of that root ball as you reasonably can, just to make sure the new potting mix and water will be able to infiltrate deep into that root ball once you're done repotting. Don't worry, you're going to break some roots in this process. That's all right. Now carefully set that plant aside or lay it on a towel or something soft just to support it so you don't crease the leaves.
Now, place the screen over your drainage hole. We never recommend using pots without drainage holes. You're kind of playing with fire. You could use a ceramic drill bit to add drainage, or, because it's so important, a lot of garden centers and plant shops will actually drill the hole for you free of charge if you ask. Fill the base of the pot with Sol Soil's potting mix, of course. You'll want the base of the plant to start close to the top of the rim of the pot you're using. Okay, so now hold the plant in place and use a soil scoop to fill in Sol Soil's potting mix around the sides of the planter, and use a tool like a chopstick to tamp down the mix a bit and send those high quality components into the root ball area. Continue doing this until the pot is full and the plant is pretty secure.
And if you're going to add a decorative stone topper, don't forget to leave 1/2 inch to 1 inch or so of room below the top of the pot before you get to the beginning of the roots. And I'd say pretty much as soon as you're done repotting, go ahead and water this thing. So if you have it, add Sol Biotics Repot Recovery to your watering can, and then water deeply. So think, when you water, we talk about it as deep and infrequent, but think about like a torrential rainstorm. So make sure water's freely flowing out the drainage hole, and I would say if you're repotting an arid plant like a succulent or cactus, you don't necessarily have to water right away. I generally wait a week, maybe 2 weeks for the first watering for arid plants, but to be honest, I don't know that there's actually science behind that. You read all sorts of things, but you never really know what's true with this. And if you still have any questions or anything else pops up, definitely don't hesitate to reach out. Leah or I will be able to help you out, so hello@solsoils.com is our email, or feel free to live chat us on our website or direct message us on Instagram @solsoils. Thanks. Grow happy plants.